Chair Shot Reality on Wrestling Inc. every single week. Josh Eisenberg, I am Justin LeBar. We appreciate the loyalty that we have always, no matter where we are. The fans following us here and some fun wrestling talk. None of the off the cuff bitch whine complain about everything. Intelligent.
It's Tyler's summer, Justin.
Intelligent wrestling talk while being tireless.
Never been called intelligent, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, right. Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. That could be a very real possibility as an undercard match. We saw Roman Reigns miss out on qualifying for the Money in the Bank ladder match because of Jinder's interference that kind of foreshadowed earlier in the night. But there's still plenty of weeks left, so it's not impossible, it's not improbable to think that they give Roman one more opportunity. They oftentimes do a last call chance for those who have missed out already, and maybe Roman Reigns still does get into the ladder match. He's Roman Reigns. What do you say?
Yeah. So I think whenever you look at the stacked roster on Raw, you don't necessarily need Roman Reigns in that Money in the Bank ladder match. Now think about it like this. You're going to Chicago. You're going to need a couple of good matches, and many people think that Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal both are shitty wrestlers. Let's be honest, but they're not. We know that they're not. They're simplistic wrestlers sometimes. They have their moves set. They get their moves in, and that's pretty much it sometimes. But who is the most natural heel in WWE right now? Jinder Mahal. People hate Jinder Mahal. They think the guy can't go. So this could be WWE's last-ditch effort to try to grab some sort of cheers and reaction from Chicago positively for Roman Reigns. Obviously, that's not going to happen. So WWE is stuck with this. Do you put Roman Reigns in the ladder match and hope to God that the crowd doesn't overtake that match? Or do you give him a match against Jinder Mahal where they could probably boo for 7 or 8 minutes, chant CM Punk, make themselves feel happy, tickle their taints a little bit, and then they go home happy? So it's at the end of the day, I think you need to see that WWE needs Roman Reigns in a mid-card match at Money in the Bank, not a ladder match, and he's not going to win the ladder match. And I guess my question is, Justin, with 4 guys on each side, Raw and SmackDown, I mean, I could see guys like Bobby Lashley get in there. I think that'd be very beneficial for his athleticism and his strength to showcase at that match. And then you can also add another person. If you wanted to add a Seth Rollins to get another chance there or somebody like that, they have plenty of options.
A few things. First off, I think at 400-plus episodes, we never said tickle the taint.
So you're welcome.
So history made there.
It's the summer, baby. We're out of the studio of college students, so we're good to go.
Well, and you're also forgetting they can boo, they can chant CM Punk. The beach balls. Not forget about beach balls. Always relevant. Yeah, I mean, you could fill the match out with Bobby Lashley and his sisters. I mean, there'd be plenty of ways to fill out the rest of the spots. Yeah, I mean, look, if they've been pretty committed to featuring Jinder Mahal in Raw since he got moved over there. So if Roman does get added into the match, if he does qualify somewhere in the next few weeks, then you almost have to have Jinder qualify too, and that then fills those 2 other spots on Raw. So it leaves out Bobby Lashley, it leaves out a number of others who could go in there. So it would make the most sense to have probably Roman versus Jinder in a one-on-one match to help fill this card out. Now, you're right. The Vince's mindset might be, well, watch. We'll get Roman, unanimous cheer. And again, maybe it was some other arenas that you might be able to have, but it's in Chicago. It's just not going to happen. So, and it makes you wonder. And this is a whole other conversation that we'll have throughout the summer. It makes you wonder at what point are they going to give in and say we're going to present Roman Reigns a little bit differently, or maybe they don't. I don't know, but it's
So I have 2 questions to round out the weekend here. One, if it's Roman and Jinder, can you see Roman and Jinder starting off the night? And 2, who does Brock Lesnar defend his championship against next?
No, I don't see Roman and Jinder starting off the night. They
should.
I see them starting with one of the ladder matches, whether it's the women's or the men's. They'll probably start. That seems to be a formula that they've been to keep the 2 gimmicks apart now because we're doing everything for the women. I could see them putting the women first, quite frankly, because I think they do have to end with the men. Sure. That's just what I think. And then the other one, Brock Lesnar.
Who's his next opponent? Is it Roman Reigns again?
I don't see any.
I mean, come on.
No, again. I mean, maybe, it's possible. I don't. Brock has beaten everybody. There's really no other new challenger. I mean, let me put it this way: Bobby Lashley's won, but they would have to really get some momentum behind Bobby Lashley. And I don't mean this is your life, Bobby family tree videos. I mean, we need to see Bobby be dominant. But of course, if Bobby's in a Money in the Bank match, unless he wins it and then he decides
he's been in one before,
right? So Bobby Lashley's somebody who we have not seen, so that would be a fresh opponent. Other than that, I go back to my guy Braun. Braun's the only guy that should beat Brock at this point. Yeah. that's like, but that should be done at a SummerSlam. That should be done in an advertise. Braun should not be winning the Money in the Bank. Braun, when Braun finally does win a world title, it should be advertised, building, big fight. I want to see their posters in Times Square. I want to see it at SummerSlam. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
Well, and I think that's what's going to be the end game here, because if you try to do Brock and Roman at SummerSlam, it's going to be a disaster. People aren't going to care. It's gotten to a point now where, me being at Backlash and literally seeing these people leave in the main event, and I said it for a number of reasons. It's not because Roman Reigns sucks. It's because we've seen this main event on Raw 20 times. We've seen this feud before. We've seen the outcome, and we knew what the outcome was going to be. There was no titles involved. There was no stipulation. There was nothing. It was a basic singles one-on-one match, and as much as I enjoy Samoa Joe, as much as I like Roman Reigns, it did nothing for me, and it did nothing for anybody. So if you're going to tell me that Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns is what they're going to go for, it's a big mistake. And how they ended the Greatest Royal Rumble makes me fear that could potentially happen at Extreme Rules in July.
Well, and too, with the Samoa Joe Roman Reigns, I don't know if this was Vince and the producer and agent of the match trolling the audience. I don't know what makes them think, okay, we have a hot, we're gonna have a controversial Jersey, New York, Philly crowd, because I mean that's all three cities are there, all three regions are there. I don't know why they think it was a good idea to do rest holds like that, or after starting so hot.
No idea.
They started so hot with that pre-match attack. I don't understand that, and I will say this. Not defending those who might have walked out because they didn't want to watch the match because of Roman Reigns, but I do think it's also worth noting that Backlash pay-per-view went so long. I mean, it was well after 11 o'clock, and it's a school night, so maybe it's people taking their kids home because Jesus, they got to catch a train back to New York or back to Philly.
Sure, and the last train was at 11:27, and the main event ended at 11:15. So that's a fun fact for you.
There we go. We got many more weeks to talk about throughout the summer as we build the Money in the Bank. We love to hear what you think. Make sure you leave a comment on the video below. You can obviously hit us up on social media at JoshOdds4, at JustinLabar. We'll have more next week. CSR on Wrestling Inc. Subscribe, comment, do what you got to do. Tell a friend, share in the reality.